So we're just waiting for now for the doors to close. Doors are shut. Just wait for the RA lit. Into forward. Off we go. Confirming stopping pattern of Chester, Flint, Prestatyn, Rhyl, Colwyn Bay, Llandudno Junction, Bangor and Holyhead. Speed out Crewe 20 mile an hour. Crewe North, passing the Heritage Centre. We're up to 50 mile an hour now. Sliding out of Crewe, we're going to pass the ETD in a minute, the electric traction depot. The ETD's on the left, we're up to 90 mile an hour. We're going to conduct a running brake test shortly. So the old Crewe works on the right hand side. Crewe Steelworks box is just going to come up on the left hand side shortly. 63, do a running brake test. 50%. Running brake test complete. Crewe Steelworks 3 clear. Let's go. Building on the right hand side is where you buy your posh cars from, Bentleys. Picking up speed now up to 90. Just going to go over Worliston Viaduct. Now we're going to pass what we call Crewe International Airport on the left where the microlights take off. And we go over Dairy House Farm Crossing. Just after this bridge, over bridge, is Worliston Old Station site off. Passing Venetian Marina on the left. We're approaching Calverley Old Station. We've got two crossings beforehand, which are Park, Field Farm and Wardle crossings, both with whistle boards. Just going through the site of Calverley Station. Approaching Beeston Castle with the GSMR mast on the right, shut off power. Got a 65-mile-an-hour speed restriction coming up. You'll see the warning board, advanced warning board coming up shortly. Just gone over the Shropshire Union Canal, Chester branch. Down to 65. Beeston Castle's distance signal comes into view, which is green. So we've got two semaphore signals and a colour light signal in this direction. With the distance being off, we're clear. So we're coming towards Beeston Castle and Tarpley. Used to be an old station here, and the box is still here. And then we come under the control of Chester Power Box. So we're up to 90. Passing an old fuel dump on the left. There used to be a passing loop there back in the day. The next bridge we go over is where the sandstone trail goes underneath between Whitchurch and Frodsham. The next overbridge is where Brassey Station used to be. Brassey Green being on the right. On the left is Beeston Castle. So I'm under control of Chester now. Going up to Tullymash, number 6, footpath crossing. Approaching Tartan Hall. As you approach Tartan Hall on the left, you've got the ice cream farm, and on the right, you've got Tartan Hall Marina. And then just by this next overbridge is where Tartan Hall Road Station used to be. Footpath crossing. This is Nixon's Bridge. So as we're going along now, on the left hand side there's a big load of trees coming in from the left, and that's where Tartan Hall Junction was, and that was a line from Tartan Hall across to Whitchurch. So we're now on the area is known as Waverton. There's two, Waverton Old Village and Waverton New Village. This overbridge, the Skew Bridge, used to be a station here called Black Dog, which was then renamed Waverton, which was then shut and then moved further down to Waverton Station now, which is just round the corner. Just coming up on the right hand side now. It's a listed building. And for all those of the history, this is now on the battlefield of the Battle of Rounton Moor, 1645. So we've got a warning now for 65, so shut off power, get some braking. Now on the approach to Chester. So we're going to pass under the Chester-Sudley bypass, the A41, and then we'll go through Prestatyn Tunnel, which has got the Shropshire Union Canal going over the top. Advance warning board for a 30. So we're on the approach to Chester, a bit of a falling gradient now. Vickers Cross is on the right hand side. This is the A51 overbridge, Tarvin Road. Shed Lane. So we've got one yellow into the station. On the right hand side is Vickers Cross, and these newer houses on the right hand side are on the site of the old steam shed. Make out we've got one yellow and number 3. So platform 3, could be aware of, we've got a signal halfway down the platform. Charlie Romeo 81, multi-spad signal, so let's make sure we can sight that one before we proceed. Charlie Romeo 81 is one yellow. We're going to drop down to the far end of the platform into 3B. Signals all cleared. Aiming for the 5 to 10 board. Into neutral, left hand side door release. So departing Chester now, we've got the CAF depot on the right hand side. You've got the old wagon works on the left now where the post office is based. As we come round, we've got a banner repeater for Charlie Romeo 101. So the banner repeater's off, we'll go in main line, not down the loop. So we've got two tunnels coming up. The first one is Windmill Lane Tunnel. And then we've got Northgate Tunnel. Interesting about Windmill Lane, it's no longer called Windmill Lane above, it's now Victoria Road. So we've up to 50. Go over the canal, and then between these two next over bridges we're just going to sneak inside the city walls. We'll go back up to 60 at Rhyl Junction, and on the left we've got Chester Racecourse, which is the oldest racecourse in the world. Up to 60, come up to Rhyl Viaduct. When it was first built, the original one collapsed, causing a bit of loss of life. And if you know your history, this is where the eagles from Crewe were originally perched. So we're still 60. We've got a green there. Come to Saltney Junction, which is 212 miles from London Paddington on the Great Western. We're up to 75 now. Just coming up now the bridge, we're going to go to this bridge here. This is the borderline, so we're going to drop from England and welcome to Wales. So this is Saltney, this area. And the mountain you can see ahead of you is Mulvama. So we're coming up to Mold Junction, and the trees on the left you can still see the remains of the steam shed. Used to be a big massive yard as well after this overbridge. Both sides of the railway. On the right hand side they've still got the original railway cottages that are there, still being used to this day. Used to be a massive yard on the left, and the line used to go off to Mold Junction. From Mold Junction up to Mold. Site, plane going into land at Harden Airport. Just on the left hand side where Airbus make the wings and the Beluga takes off and lands. So come up to a crossing now. This is Beach's Farm level crossing. So just after this signal, between the tracks is where Sandycroft signal box used to be. There used to be a station here as well years ago. So as we get up here now, as the line sort of just bends to the left short slightly, this is where the old Queen's Ferry station was, and then we drop down towards Shotton. The Wrexham Bidson line goes over the top, and this is Shotton low level. Wooden platforms built on the old slow lines. An interesting fact, you go through Shotton on the left hand side, the end of all the terraced houses that have there's adverts for Beecham's Pills. Another footpath crossing coming up Maud Street. Just after Maud Street on the right hand side is the site of the old Dentist Sidings, which was owned by C.C. Crump Wagon Repairs. And we'll climb up again just as we reach the top up here. There was a 90 board, and that's the border between London North Western North and Network Rail Wales. It's known as Connors Quay. There used to be an old station, and the junction used to come in from the left from Wrexham. We're now under the control of the Rock at Cardiff, Rhyl workstation. So on the right hand side is Rockliffe Hall power station. Kelliston Tunnel. And here's Rockliffe Hall Tunnel. So we're on the approach to Flint. So we're on the side of the D estuary now. These signals are at Flint Junction, start of the Bye-Dye up to Rhyl, and we're going to go over Pentry Crossing. It's a lovely day, so we've got no problems with low adhesion in the winter, and when it's slippy season this can be a bit dicey coming into Flint. Flint Station. left hand side doors. So departing Flint. So as we leave Flint, we're going to come up to one of the last bridges we're going to go over. Is known as Musprats. There used to be a signal box here for Musprat sidings, which was on the right, and this is where it went back up to 4 tracks back in the day. Flint also, if you've been into your history, you've got Flint Castle, which is part of the Ring of Iron. So we're going to pass a few more of the castles as we go up towards Holyhead. So this is Flint Marsh footpath crossing. So as we drop down now to this overbridge, we're going to go through where the site of the former Baghilt station was. After the signals Fishpool crossing. Now we're on the approach to Holyhead Junction. A little bit of industry back here. Back in the day, it used to be a big Courtaulds chemical plant either side with a big massive chimney. It's all gone now, but round here, Holyhead Junction, quite a lot of industry. And if you go up towards Holyhead, as the name suggests, you've got Holyhead, St Winifred's Well, which is known as the Welsh Lords. So if you're feeling ill and want to get cured, go up for a bit of a bathe in the waters up there. So we've got Holyhead Junction signal box, as was. There's a lot of signal boxes along here which are still stood, but they're no longer in use. It's all under Rhyl workstation, but they've all been saved and maintained by Network Rail. So just on the right hand side, which might come into view, is the Duke of Lancaster, an old ship, which back in the day was moored there to circumnavigate the Sunday trading laws, because you can trade on the water but not on land. But then within 2 or 3 years it was defunct. We're approaching Moston, where at these signals you can go across on the bi-diet or onto the loop into the old sidings. Still 90 mile an hour. The old Moston signal box will come into view now. And the old Moston station on the left. Then we're just reaching the top of the estuary for the day. The signal's just changed to green ahead, and that's protecting Tinnymore CCT level crossing. On the right hand side you can see what looks like a little oil refinery, but that's where they bring the gas in. It's also where Point of Air Colliery used to be, which was the last deep mine pit in North Wales. And on the left there is the top of the shaft on a plinth which is mounted in recognition of it. Going to pass the old Talacra box on the right hand side, hidden behind the trees, and this is Talacra Old Station. And there's Tinnymore CCT level crossing. So we're just passing through Gronont, which is a little village on the side of the hill on the left. If you go towards the beach, this time of the year the terns are breeding. And on the right we've got Prestatyn Golf Course, which is a good marker for Prestatyn Station for a breaking point. Passing the old Quick Save headquarters on the right. Nantor level crossing. Into Prestatyn station. Into neutral, right hand side door release. Passing Prestatyn old box on the left. Line used to go up to Disseth, and then we've got 2 level crossings, which are Sandy Lane and Beverley Drive. The approach to Rhyl. Speed drops down to 75 through Rhyl, and then down to 40 and 50 respectively, whether you're going in a loop or going main line. So routing is the down passenger loop. Coming to Rhyl. Rhyl 1 signal box on the left. Oh, sorry, on the right. Rhyl carriage shed, as was on the left, now demolished. Just the tamper sidings. Rhyl station. Left hand side doors. The old Rhyl number 2 signal box on the right. That was one of the first boxes to be shut on the coast when everything got re-signalled. Green signal leaving Rhyl, passing what is known as locally H Bridge. On the right hand side you can see the Marine Lake with the Marine Lake Railway going round it. So I'm just going to go over the viaduct. There's 2 viaducts here, the old one and the new one. We're going to go over the old one. If you go a bit further down the valley, you'll come up to Rudlin with Rudlin Castle, another castle in the Ring of Iron. And just as we come over the viaducts, you've got Vorrid Junction, where the line used to go off to the left, up towards Rudlin, and the line used to go underneath and go up to the docks at Rhyl. And we're up to 85 mile an hour. There was also a bit of a line that went off to a military camp as well. So we're going to come towards Towyn, along the front now towards Abergele. Quite a lot of static caravans around here, very popular if you want to come for a bit of a holiday break. You've got the Nightly's Fair on the right hand side. Got a bridge and a little crossing here which is no use, that's Miller's Cottage. And then we've got two Vamos fitted level crossings, footpath crossings. First one is Tigwin. There are plans for both of these crossings to disappear and an overbridge being put in for when they do speed enhancement. So coming to Abergele, you might have to see on the left hand side the castle where they filmed I'm Celebrity back in the day. Abergele and Pensound Station. So we'll start to climb now through Llandudno and up towards Lisfine. On the left we've got the A55 keeping us company. So as we climb up here, in this area was where there was a big disaster with the Irish Mail in around about 1860, where paraffin wagons broke loose from the top of the quarry at Lisfine, rolled down the hill and smashed into the Irish Mail, resulting in quite a few deaths, people being burnt alive, and they're all buried in a mass grave in one of the churches at Abergele. Llandudno Viaduct, and Llandudno on the left hand side. Ahead of us you can see the quarry at Lisfine. So under control now of Llandudno Junction. We're currently doing 85, when we get towards the top we drop down to 75. Going to come up to Lisfine emergency ground frame. Down to 75. And then we're going to go through Penmine Rose Tunnel. So as we come out we can see across Colwyn Bay towards Ross-on-Sea. As we drop down now we're going to go past the site of the old Colwyn railway station. So on approach to Colwyn Bay station. Like with Flint, this can be a bit dicey for drivers in the low adhesion season. You can slip in and you can slip out the station. stop at the 246 board. Down, come to neutral, it's on the left. Departing Colwyn Bay. The signal box used to be on the right hand side at the end of the platform. So next stop, Llandudno Junction. Back in the day when they were constructing the A55, you had to slew some of the track just along here to accommodate the road. This is known amongst enthusiasts as Jack Bowley Bridge. Back up to 90. As we go along here, on the left hand side, the other side of the A55 is a place called Mockdra, and there used to be a signal box around here, Mockdra and Pablo. So we've got a green into Llandudno Junction. Speed reduction shortly to 75. .75 board coming into view, then we get a warning board for a 50. Coming in now, we're going to come up to the actual Llandudno Junction where the line from, well, to line of Festingo comes into view. Llandudno Junction Station. 2 board here for us. There we go. Into neutral, left hand side door release. So departing the junction, we're still 50, then we're going to drop down to 45 shortly. You can get routed towards Llandudno Junction, but our services don't go that way. So you've got Llandudno Junction signal box on the right coming into view. And the Network Rail depot as well. And as we bend round, you will see the magnificent Conway Castle and the historic town of Conway. Back in the day when it was built to show the supremacy over the Welsh, all these castles in the Ring of Iron were rendered with white lime so you could see it for miles around, just to let you know who was in charge. So we've got Conway on the right hand side, home to the smallest house in the world. And we'll go through Conway Tubular Bridge shortly. Just on the left you can see the remains of the quay sidings. So we're just going to go inside the town wall shortly, and then Conway Station, and then Conway Tunnel. Speed of up to 75. So as we come out of Conway, on the right hand side you've got Conway Town United's football ground, and then we'll have Conway Morver. Just a bit of interest for history buffs. There is a pub round on the Morver at the marina called the Mulberry, which is in respect to the Mulberry Harbours, which were trialled and constructed in this area at the end of World War II for D-Day. There used to be a station around here, Conway Morver, and just on the right hand side here, during the construction of the A55, there used to be Conway Morver sidings. So we've got a speed reduction coming up to 55 through Penman Back Tunnel. Back up to 75. You can see Menai ahead of us, and to the left is the village of Dockavorky. That's the old little chef on the left. This is the little chef crossing. Towards Menai signal box and station, and Menai quarry on the right hand side. So we're going to do the A55 now, and on the right hand side, just before going to Avalanche Tunnel, there's a sidings called Wright Sidings. So Pennyclip Avalanche Tunnel as it's known. Start to see Anglesey now on the right hand side. We've got a short 90 coming up. So we've got a level crossing coming up known as Mona. And then we can see Llandudno and Seafront. '75 through Llandudno station. Back up to 90. We've got Llanymore crossing coming up. Shut off now. We've got a 75 coming up at Henfice Farm. This is Aber and Aber ground frame, also home with the Aber Falls distillery. So you can pick up a nice bottle of whiskey or a nice bottle of gin from there. And also on the left you've got Aber Falls itself. So we're right by the Menai Straits now. You might see between the trees on the right hand side Penryn Castle, which was home of Jaguar during the Second World War. So whistle board coming up, as we might say locally, whistle for Wig. So we're going through an area now known as Gypsy Corner. As we bend round to the right now, we'll go over a viaduct, and just after the viaduct is where you used to be able to go to Penryn Quarry. Llandudno Tunnel. So on the approach to Bangor, we've got one yellow signals at the end of Bangor Tunnel. And just before the tunnel was a junction where the line used to go up to Bethesda. Another area of known low adhesion. 50 warning board. Won't be doing 50, we've got a red ahead. Sure we drop the speed down towards this red signal, at least 20 mile an hour over the magnet. signal cleared. 15 mile an hour into the platform. Bangor station, old steam shed on the left. These used to be island platforms with lots of trains going down towards Carnarvon, Holyhead, up to Amlock, Bethesda, obviously down to London. Left hand side door release. Departing Bangor, 15 mile an hour out the loop. Bangor box on the right. Belmont Tunnel. Making sure we're clear of the 15 mile an hour before we take power. Going to pass Menai Bridge Old Station on the right. Up to 45. With the trees on the right, you might be able to see the Menai Bridge as built by Thomas Telford for the A5. as we drop down here. We've got a 40-mile-an-hour speed restriction, and we're going to go onto a single line over the Britannia Bridge. Back in the day, this was a tubular bridge. After the fire in '72, obviously reconstruction is no longer, and then a little bit later they put the bridge, the road bridge on top, giving to road accesses to Anglesey. Got the lines either side going on. We've got lines either side coming off. Going over the Menai Strait, to the left you've got Llandudno, which is a National Trust property, and on the right you've got the little island with the houses, and then you've got you can see Telford Suspension Bridge. You've also got two statues which you might be able to see. One of them's of Lord Nelson at the bottom by the water, and the one on the top of the tower is the Marquis of Anglesey. Apparently Lord Nelson was doing the dirty with the Marquis of Anglesey's wife, hence why he's looking down on him in disgust. So we're now on the island of Anglesey. Going off the single line, and shortly we'll be up to 75. Interestingly enough, this overbridge has got 4 miniature lines either side of it, like the Britannia Bridge, which have got some bigger lines. So we're climbing out again. This is an area of known low adhesion for drivers in the leaf fall season. So we've got Llanfair PG crossing coming up, and then we've got the place with the longest name, which is for all drivers is known as Llanfair PG. Very popular with tourists, obviously. So we're climbing up now. We've got a whistle board for Llandudno crossing. And as we come round the corner, we'll see the distance signal for Gerwin. So we've got a green, which is good. Bending round. Another whistle board. So we're coming to view now is Gerwin. We've got two signals on this side, which is the home and the section signal, and it's a very long section now between here and Valley. So as we drop down, Gerwin back in the day used to be a junction. The line going off just here on the right hand side up to Amlock and to Red Wolf Bay. But latterly it was a freight line up to Amlock, which used to take chlorine gas and anti-knock compound from there at the Octel plant to the Octel plant at Ellesmere Port. So we're now dropping down what's known as Llangafo Bank, with the village of Llangafo on the left hand side. Drop down now, we're going to cross the valley floor, we're going to start climbing again now up towards Bedorgan. And we'll go through two tunnels, Bedorgan 1 and Bedorgan 2. Number 1. Number 2. During construction it was supposed to be Pedorgan 1 or just Pedorgan Tunnel, but during the construction they had a collapse, so they dug it out and they used the stone they dug out to help construct with the stations along the island. So we're approaching now Pedorgan. So we're climbing up now. Once we get to this top of the bank, this is the highest point on the North Wales coast on the railway. Then we'll drop down towards Crewe. You'll notice we'll have a semaphore distant and a stop signal, but this is what's known as a non-block post. So it's nothing to do with the actual signalling system. This is just telling me that the crossing is clear and I can go over it. So it's controlled by a non-block post box at Crewe. Crewe station. Around the corner, we're going to go through Rosenheiger station, and then we're on a nice long straight with the RAF Valley on the left hand side. So just ahead you'll notice some signals which haven't got any illumination. These are the emergency signals for the Air Force base. So if anything untowards happens, these will illuminate. So this one will illuminate with a single yellow and the one further ahead with a red. So our instructions are to come to a stand and contact Valley signal box to ascertain the situation. Treewind Sands here. see all the hawks here for training. This is where they start training the pilots up for obviously flying jets. You have the hawks, which are the jets, and you also have the Texans, which have got the prop shaft, and they are very noisy. There's our distance signal for Valley. As you come towards Valley, on the right hand side you've got the Valley Triangle and the DRS sidings where they used to take the flats up to Wilver Power Station. The triangle is used for turning steam specials when they come up, constructed in the late 80s, early 90s. Valley Box and Valley Station. Pennon Shaft Crossing. And we're going over what's known as the Stanley Embankment. On the left's the A55, on the right behind the wall's the A5. And now the wall was built because back in the day when you still had horses and carts, the steam engine might frighten the horses, so that's why they built the wall. So I've now gone off Anglesey onto Holy Island with Holyhead Station. One yellow. So we're getting the brake in for the red ahead. On the right hand side after this bridge you will see the site of the old Anglesey aluminium works, now sadly demolished and being flattened. Back in the day, you used to bring aluminium ingots out of there on what was known as the Valley Goods. So they go across to Europe and everywhere else. So that's your warning board for the 15. Got a red ahead. That's green and up main, so that means we should be going to platform 1. So it means we've had the 15-mile-an-hour warning board. Just down here, just past the water tower, there's a 15-mile-an-hour. And that's all the way into the station. Coming into view now, on the right hand side is the depot at Holyhead with the new building, which is the which is going to house the wheel lathe. Got the fueling point with 2 roads, and you might have spotted my delivery mistake. We are going to platform 2 and not 1. Holyhead signal box. As we drop down and bend into the platform 2 on the left, you've got Holyhead carriage sidings. So it doesn't look busy now, but in the evenings, obviously shunting all the stock ready for the next morning. Transport for Wales and Avanti. It's the hive of activity. Approaching the buffer stop, making sure reduce speed is appropriate. There we go, end of the line. Hope you've enjoyed that. Into neutral, on the left, open the doors, DRA on. We can now log out. Well, we won't log out, we'll turn the train around, ready for our next journey back.